Bandai Namco Games. Bandai is an interesting company. They're kind of figuring out that they have a good market in the West. From Software. Where are they from? No, they're from Software. It's terrible. Yes. I wanted to hold off on playing this game for a long time until I was much more well established. But yesterday I tried to record footage of Deus Ex Invisible War, and it worked totally fine. I managed to get the game running properly in my resolution. I installed a HD texture pack. Everything was running smoothly. I was playing the game, but then I was playing the game, I was just like, there's nothing to talk about. It just plays like some kind of first-person shootery game. I don't really feel interested in the plot, and it was just I just wasn't feeling it, man. I got to like 2.5 hours for the recording, and we were like, I just got nothing. This game's got nothing. Game's not bad, it's not special. And unlike Taz Wanted, which is an old game, it still has that interesting charm of it just had a bit of something. It had something to talk about, and I enjoyed playing that game. And that was the first complete LP I've done so far. And Deus Ex just didn't have anything to go with it. I'm not going to hang in the main menu for too long, but I've been wanting to play. Name am I going to choose? Bloody hell. Well, I know what class I'm making. So I think I enter? Yeah. Actually, no. If I'm making a Pyromancer, they're going to be... okay, yeah. Okay, yes. No, yeah. They're going to be... Roy... Mustang. There we go. Full Metal Alchemist reference for everyone who likes anime. We're going to be Dude. And of course... we're going to be a Pyromancer. Then STD Bomb. God, I hate... abbreviations in games are terrible. Avoid them, please. Tiny Beings Ring. Special Trap Ring. HP slowly recovers slowly while equipped. All Witches Ring. Gift from a Witch Ancient Ring with no obvious effect. We're going to go with the Master Key. Face. We'll go for Virus Traveler. It makes the most sense for a Pyromancer who are like nomads from afar. Does it say where they're from? It's from Pyromancer. Casts fire spells and wields a hand axe. Okay. What hair best suits Mr. Mustang? Roy Mustang. Actually, send me along. That's more like it. There you go. Color, it's going to be black. This will be our dude. We are going to be Roy Mustang, a Pyromancer starting their journey in the Dark Souls universe. Okay to start game with this character? Yes, it is. I haven't had an audio sync. Alright, I'll
in the age
remember to do that. I'll be
the
quiet now.
world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire. And with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. witch of Izalith and her daughters of chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bolts peeled apart their stone skins. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. And Seath, the Scaleless, betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more. Thus began the Age of Fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers. And man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark side.
So that's quite an intro. Pretty vague one though. Doesn't actually tell you. Well, it's still dialogue.
The dark sign brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world. This is your fate.
So here we are. We're now playing after a fairly long intro, actually. We're now playing Dark Souls 1. Pillage Corpse. Interesting how the game throws us right into it without any tutorial. Just hit A, pillage the corpse. We got the dungeon cell key from the Night Bro who just dropped it into our little abode. So you can read the description of the key, and the way this game works is, well, you're probably watching this as a fan of Dark Souls, is that we get all our lore in these games through the descriptions of items, more than actual like exposition from characters or anything. A mysterious knight, without saying a word, shoved the corpse down into the cell, and on this person was this key. Who was this knight? What was his purpose? There may be no answers, but one must still forge ahead. So it's telling us, get a move on. Time to walk. These just give us control instructions. We're not going to bother too much with them. These guys we can attack, but there's no point, really. We do shit all damage with our sword. Hilt of this sword was lost or was found discarded in the Undead Asylum. Only slightly better than one's bare hand, and not recommended for extensive use. Be certain to refine the replacement quickly. So this game doesn't normally run... Oh yeah, something to make note of. There's a goddamn boss just waddling his way around out there. Just big ass. Wibbly wobbly, wibbly wobbly. Gross. Who's that there? Oh, dead rat. Run. What was I going with this? So yeah, this game has like the most hardly there tutorial, and it only really tells you about like the real surface level details and mechanics of the game. Where's that bonfire? Because there's a lot of subsystems within this game that the game never tells you about. Interesting enough, we get the option to attune magic. Seeing as we are a pyromancer... What is this? I don't know why. My friends at work have been making that. They're from a different suburb. Ooh, what's that up there? Yeah, we know what this is. This is the sort of yes, maybe no boss battle. So if you're a real badass, which which I'm not, because you only do 2 damage per swing, even with your heaviest attack. You probably can fight it with just your shitty sword. But am I a bad enough dude? No, I'm not. I'm nowhere near a bad enough dude. I'm a huge coward. I'm gonna run the fuck away. Oh yeah, there's a prompt saying, get your shield, which I skipped because I don't really care about my shield in this game. Most of our defensive options in this game are going to be through... Let's see, a small hand axe appears identical to a lumberjack tool, but has an ideal weight and strength and is easy to handle. One wrong swing leaves the world wide open, so timing and proximity to the enemy must be judged carefully. That's just a tutorial description basically saying, don't swing or crazy like it, because this game is heavily, you know, timing based, which is a good staple of all Dark Souls games. Traverse the white light. Don't know why there's one there. I don't know what they use for sometimes. Oh, hello. He isn't looking very good. So you can backstab. When you backstep, you can attack, you gotta move, you can roll. This is a particularly annoying thing. They'll get every first time player, which is the purpose of the game, is to... There's traps. Shit's trapped, motherfucker.
Oh, you. You're no hollow. Thank goodness.
Not yet, I guess.
I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I were both undead. Hear me out, will you?
Yes.
Regrettably, I have failed in my mission. But perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family. Thou who art undead art chosen. In thine exodus from the Undead Asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringeth the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know. And I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask. An undead favorite.
Ah, good old Estus.
Oh, and this.
And a key.
Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now. And thank you.
No worries, mate. I think he dies when you walk out. I think it's like a trigger. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. If you're close enough, you actually get some souls off of him. Ow. Damn it. You know, when I was playtesting, I did that exactly the same thing. Ah, bloody ragdoll physics. So yeah, undead takes a weird meaning in this game. Where when you die, you keep coming back, and you can die over, and over, and over, and over again. Ah, there's what we want. Pyromancy Flame. So these guys are not going to let me equip. Ah, I kicked. This is the reason why I chose this class. Actually, no, I have to steal this there, because the Pyromancy Flame actually weighs nothing. It has 0 weight. So I can go here and go... Yeah! Yeah! So Pyromancy is pretty strong, but it has a limited number of uses for what I can do with it. So let's read the description of this. A flame medium used by the great swamp pyromancers. Pyromancers arouse this flame to produce various fire arts. Equip Pyromancer Flame to produce Pyromancy. Attune Pyromancy used from a scroll at Bonfire. Most Pyromancies have a limited number of uses. That they do. I don't know if there's any Pyromancer that has an unlimited number of uses. What does it say? Wooden shields are lighter than metal shields, but this one has lower physical damage reduction ability, partly due to cracking. And this guy. Okay, well. It's gonna come at me. Yeah! But he was guarding a locked door. Shit's locked. These are just more... Oh, this one actually specifically, with Sorcery Flame equipped, use Pyromancy, and you can hit up on the thing to change Pyromancy. We only have the Fireball for now. I don't actually know when I get the chance. Oh, right to the boss battle. Yeah! Scripted sequences. There we go. So that gives us a bit of an edge on the monster if you figured out what you were doing. Oh, alright. That was bitter. Yeah, so we're in our first boss battle. If there's one thing to learn about Dark Souls, it's to learn to dodge. Whoops. Learn to dodge. Watch your stamina. Understand the game's... Oh, alright, that has an area effect, but that did light damage. When he comes down, there's my chance to throw a fireball. He's almost dead. Oh, there we go. There's our first boss defeated. And there's a little thing called humanity in our possession now. Let's take it off my belt and let's read some of these items. The undead treasure these dull green flasks, even though it's very yellow, filled with Estus at one fire, fills HP. This Estus... blah blah blah. The Estus flask are linked to the Firekeepers. The Dark Tales also make reference. An emerald flask from the Keeper's soul. She lives to protect the flame and dies to protect it further. Humanity. Rare tiny black sprite found on corpses, used to gain 1 humanity and restore a large amount of HP. This black sprite is called humanity, but little is known about its true nature. If the soul is the source of all life, then what distinguishes humanity we hold within ourselves? The dark sign signifies an accursed undead. Those branded with it are reborn after death, but will one day lose their mind and go hollow. Death triggers a dark sign which returns its bearer to the last bonfire rested at, but the cost of all humanity and souls. So essentially, if you are cursed with a dark sign, like you the player are, dying will take you back to a bonfire. And dying again will do the same thing. And again, and again, and again, and again. Alright, I remember that. I remember that is. These, they're used item, yeah. Soul of a lost undead who has long ago gone hollow, used to acquire souls. Souls are the source of all life, and whether undead or even hollow, one continues to seek them. So it's an interesting, like, rule of the game that souls are everything. There's no currency in the game. I don't know why they're not triggering. Souls are used to buy stuff, to upgrade stuff, to level up. Souls are everything. Hence the name of the game being Dark Souls. Now we're going to walk ahead and we'll trigger a cutscene.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the Undead Asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
Lord. And that is where we are going to. Love that, no loading screens. Solid state hard drives are the best, motherfuckers. Oh, that would hurt. And here I am. The Pyromancer in my tatty clothes has made it to Lordran. In Lordran, level up and kindle at bonfires. Yes, thank you. Oops. Alright, so this particular bonfire is slightly kindled so that I have a maximum of 10 Estus flasks when resting at it. And here's the very large level up screen. Essentially, leveling up each of these increases certain stats, which is pretty obvious, I imagine. Certain stats you want to focus on, like since my axe is a strength weapon, upgrading my strength will increase the damage of my axe. Only by a small amount. Most of the damage increases you'll get from actually upgrading the weapons with items known as Tatanite. Endurance increases your stamina, your equip load, and some resistances as well. Attunement, as you see right at the side there, attunement slots increases when it hits a certain threshold, which is something I will be putting points into at a later point in time. But for now, I just want to round out some stats. Since the Pyromancer is a pretty versatile character, your Pyromancy spells are pretty solid, and you don't want to rely on them too much though, because there are some enemies that are very resilient to fire, and in that case, well, you're kind of boned. Now, who's this dude?
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess. Fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first.
So we're not the first undead to escape from the asylum.
You'd have done better to rot in the Undead Asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are, actually, 2 bells of awakening. One's up above in the Undead Church. The other is far, far below, in the ruins at the base of Blight Town. Ring them both, and something happens. Brilliant, right?
Brilliant.
Not much to go on, but I have a won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land of the undead?
So apparently there's a few undead have come through here, and there are 2 bells to actually ring, which means my task is just doubled. And actually the amount of time between the first bell and the second bell is humongous. It's a humongous trek. And you kind of forget that you're actually doing that thing.
You're practically hollow. But who knows? Going hollow could solve quite a bit. What? Restoring your humanity? Well, there are a few ways to go about it. Collect it bit by bit from corpses. Or you can butter up a cleric and get yourself summoned. And the quickest way, although I'd never do it, is to kill a healthy undead and pillage its humanity. Coveting thy neighbor is only human, after all.
So, who knows how long this guy's been here? He's a healthy undead, as he said. His skin is complete. He looks human. Well, my dude, well, he looks a little wretched. All shriveled up inside. Dry prune. And to look normal again, and also activate some other features, you want to use humanity. So I'll use 1 humanity. So there's a number up in my corner, goes to 1. And then you go reverse hollowing. And so now we look like a normal dude. And in turn, it means that we can be invaded by players who are seeking people with humanity, like I have now. We can also summon players into our world. To help us out, and in turn, if they successfully help us out, they will gain humanity back. Those are sort of the general PvP rules, and that was what that dude was talking about. I don't actually know his name. I don't actually know if you learned his name, but he was basically explaining the basic principles of the game in terms of the humanity dynamic. I think this is meant to be something. I don't know what. There's also an empty chest here. There's a few things here. I think you may have just heard a bit of a crow sort of preening itself. There's a giant crow. There's the crow that picked us up. It's hovering about. It's hanging around. Being a bit scary. It actually is still useful later on. So the last thing you want to do is to fight it and kill it. More lost undead souls, which we use to gain souls. And there's a zone further in. Oh yeah, you can see other players. There's a zone further in that I can use to get some goodies, but I won't go there just yet. Let's go straight to the game.